Is trust earned or given? Is respect earned or given? That was a question asked to me way back 10 years ago from a mentor at a seminar. And I pondered about that question, and I'm here to help you, discover that for yourself. Hi, my name is Cal Jurdi, founder of Fearless Transformation, where we help teams work at a level of high performing championship level. How many times you found yourself not trusting others, as a result things didn't go as well or you didn't get the results that you need? On the other hand, how many times you found yourself trusting others and as a result you were able to get what you want? So thank you for watching this video, and I know time is the most important value and valuable asset that we own. That's why my intention, my commitment is, by the end of this video you're gonna look back and say to yourself, wow, that was a good video. I learned something important that's gonna help me to elevate my career, elevate my business, and have better relationships with myself, people around me, and the world as well, including the mission that you serve. Okay, so I know from my experience, if you know about a little bit about my background, I had some issues with trusting others. As a result, I got fired 3 times before I got the lesson. The number 3 is a magical number. 3 times in the U.S., starting with a bank I was working with. Another one was a company that I was, coaching and training for, and the third time was a company that I was selling for training and consulting, and also I was doing the work myself. So with that being said, it's not something to brag about, but it's really sometimes takes time to really finally get it, how important that is to establish trust with oneself and with others, and in the process. So what is the process? Okay, what is the process? First, you gotta able to trust yourself. If you're not able to trust yourself, how can you trust others? Makes sense, doesn't it? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but when you're not able to trust yourself that you are competent and confident in what you're doing, that's okay. That's not unusual. Most people are not. Every master was once a disaster. Yeah, that's another saying that I've learned throughout the way, and it hit me very, very deeply, because I'm a perfectionist. I like to have everything in order, all the ducks in line. The moon and the stars are aligned before I do something, so that I do it right. Well, guess what? Perfection is the enemy of good enough. And in order for you to be great, you gotta be able to start first. So that's why it's important to trust oneself, that do what's in front of you, even that if you're not doing right or the way that you like to do it. However, you learn from the process. You learn from your mistakes. You take the mistakes, you implement them, and you move on and you evolve. And that's how we grow. Without failure, there's no growth. And growth only takes place where? Outside of our comfort zone, not when we're chilling out, relaxing, and enjoying ourselves and celebrating. Mostly it's when outside of our comfort zone, when we're uncomfortable, we are experiencing some struggle, some pain, some issues, some confrontation. Like, for example, what I'm going through right now, living here, in the woods of Lebanon for the past, 2 months, discovering about, where I was, where I'm at right now, and what's the next steps from me. Right? And because I found myself to be like coasting, everything is going well, I'm comfortable, my clients are happy, I'm delivering, and yet I'm not growing anymore. So coming over here, experiencing the nature, I don't know if you can hear the sound of the water stream in the background, and there's, animals around, and farming, and being able, nature is the best teacher. So that was been my avenue to go and get a little bit uncomfortable, so that I can develop a trust in myself, that I can survive in, environments like this if needed. Also learn more about who I am, and where I'm coming from, and more importantly as well is where I'm heading, what's my next steps. Okay, so whatever form that you gotta do, you gotta be able to find out first, trusting yourself. Also, that goes to respecting oneself. Okay, if we don't respect ourselves, how could we, respect others? Okay, so it all starts from here. There's nothing out there, it's only here, looking inside. And many times you gotta be able to reach out to higher power. You gotta, connect with your spiritual realm so that you're able to get some answers. Okay, whatever your beliefs are, and you gotta be able to reach out to that, whether through meditation, prayers, working in the land, connecting with animals, with nature, whatever form you take. It's important to do that for yourself, and you owe that to the people around you, the people that love you, your teammates, the company you're working for, organization, your business, anything that you are involved in. It all starts with trusting and respecting oneself. Okay? When you're able to do that, now you can, offer that to others. Now you can trust others. Now you can respect more others, because you have that for yourself first. Okay, respecting the humanity within you. Okay, and then respecting the humanity in others. Although others may not be able to, or they may not be at the same page as you may see things differently. However, we can agree that you can respect the humanity in others, respect where they're coming from. Yeah, so that's why, is respect earned or given? Respect is given. The virtue of being a human being. Unlike what I used to think in the past, where respect and trust has to be earned. You gotta prove yourself to me, and otherwise, how would I trust you? How would I respect you? I keep my cards close to my vest. I'm not gonna open, my heart. I'm not gonna open my cards in front of you. And I'm not saying like you go and hand your savings to someone that you just barely met and tell them, okay, I'm gonna get in partnership with you. Obviously, you gotta, have responsibility to do some investigation. You'll be able to, ask the right questions. Yeah. So to build that trust. So trust, is it given or is it earned? Trust, in my humble opinion, it's earned. You gotta able to earn someone's trust, and someone else should be able to earn yours. And this only happens with time, happens with results, happen with interaction. So give it the time that it needs so that you can develop that trust. Okay. And once you're able to, you have respect and trust for yourself, respect and trust for others, now trust the process. Trust the process. Whatever you are in your life right now, whether you are completely satisfied, not completely satisfied, that's not unusual. Okay? Just trust that everything is happening for a reason, that it's helping you to grow and evolve. Okay? Many times we make a lot of mistakes. We fail. And including myself, I get hard on myself and I start beating myself up, because I considered fail. However, I learned how to step out of my body, looking at it from a third perspective and watching it from a distance without being emotionally involved, and seeing the things, in front of me. And once I'm able to do that, now I'm able to, learn from the mistakes, implement them, and move forward and make sure that this won't happen again. Failure is there to serve us. There's a gift in failure, and that is the gift of growth, gift of learning, right? So, to wrap it all up, respect is given, trust is earned. What is the process? First, you start with oneself, others you're working with, you're interacting with, and the process that's going to lead you to grow and evolve from learning from your mistakes, implementing the learnings, and moving on. Now, question that I usually get is, how could you trust people? What if someone is not trustworthy? That's a very uncommon, that is very common to ask. That's very common, thing that, it's usual. It's not unusual. It makes sense that to be wary of others. Yeah, definitely. When you find there's a breakdown, you find like you can't trust one person, many times it's not you, it's them. Yeah, because they don't trust themselves. So don't take it personal. Yeah? Instead, you may want to approach that person, especially that you need that person when you're working with. You cannot avoid. Yeah, especially if you're working in a cubicle, you're working with a manager, you're working with the staff. you're married to that person in one way or another, right? So that's why it's important to approach that person and take responsibility for one thing that you find that you could have, approached the situation a different way. If you haven't, if you haven't watched one of the videos I'm talking about where you can complete the past and create trust, go back to that video, and it gives you a four-step process how to, reestablish trust and relationship with others when there's a breakdown. Okay, but to summarize, take responsibility for one thing that happened as a result of this breakdown in trust. Clean it up. Okay, make a new promise and declare the intention of the relationship, the positive intent and purpose. Declare it to the person you're working with. Right? So assuming positive intent and purpose for others you're working with is a key ingredient for establishing trust, because the brain, it's designed for us to survive. If you're alive today, you're breathing, watching this video, that means your mind, your brain has done a good job so far to keep you alive, right? It's a collection of reference experiences, programming, social conditioning, all that stuff. So it's hard sometimes to make that shift and to make that, adjustment, and it takes some, one-on-one coaching. It takes some, pattern interrupts. It takes some, intervention to, change that way of thinking. Okay. However, it starts with one step. First is acknowledgement. Acknowledging that, there's a breakdown. That's step number one. 50% of success is acknowledging the breakdown and looking inside, asking yourself, what can I take responsibility for? All right. That's step number one. Then you go and approach that person that there's a breakdown in trust with and share with them, you know what? I must have done something that, kind of, shook that trust a little bit. And I take responsibility for, A, B, and C. I got the impact that this has created in our relationship. My promise is in the future, if something like that were to occur again, I will come and I will do, this instead. I'll communicate, I'll ask, whatever that is. Because my intention is to have a good working relationship, or good, family relationship, or good whatever relationship that you are establishing in context. All right. I hope that served you. And my challenge to you between now and next time we talk is assume positive intent and purpose with others. Okay. Assume positive intent and purpose until they prove otherwise. And when they prove otherwise, now you can go ahead and approach and ask, hey, did I do anything wrong? Is anything that I've done that have caused this breakdown? Okay, if you're not sure. If you know what it is, then just go ahead and complete it. But assume positive intent and purpose. Why? Because the brain, as we said, is conditioned to keep you alive. Meaning, what you think about, it shall become. If you are thinking negative thoughts or negative intent and purpose of others, well, guess what? The brain is going to look for reference experiences out there to prove you right. On the other hand, you think positive thoughts and positive intent and purpose, you assume positive intent and purpose of others, well, guess what? The brain is going to look for reference experiences to prove you right. Okay? In the brain, there is a part, it's called reticular activation system, the RAS. The RAS job is to search for proof to prove you right. Okay? So for example, imagine you have a lemon, right now that's cut. I've been living in Mexico for the past 6 months, and lemon has been part of the cerveza that I enjoy after, a long day working in my beach home in the Caribbean. I go down to the beach and enjoy a beer with lemon and salt, called the cheladas, okay, chelada style. So if you have the lemon right here in front of you and it's cut in half, imagine you just take it up there and you squeeze it in your mouth. Ugh. Why does this happen? Because the RAS doesn't know what's real from what's imagined. Yeah, basically it thinks that you are drinking the lemon right now. It's the way it tastes and all that stuff, right? The sour taste. So the same thing goes when you are thinking negative thoughts. The RAS is gonna go out there and they're gonna prove you right. And whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Thank you, Henry Ford. Until then, assume positive intent and purpose and come from a place that's only love. That's how you're able to evolve and grow and attract what you want for your life and have a fulfilling career that is based on flow and ease. Cheers, everybody.